handle the truth.
I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll make up the date like the government always does because they're the best. They never screw up, right? Isn't that what they tell us? Like, they're the bestest ever? I don't know. Governments are cool like that. Anyway, we're going to call it August 2nd. It's August 3rd. Wow. We're going to call it August 3rd. It's a Monday, 2026. There we go. Now I got it out right. I just, I'm not used to dates and stuff, and the government always has to tell me, and I get very confused, and it's all part of, great. Anyway, we do have a couple things going on. There was a stop of the things of going on in Iran, and I don't know how you want to say that, but there was a moment there where we found ourselves in getting ready to go into a big skirmish yesterday, so some things got pulled back. I honestly, guys... let me give you my opine. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I completely make all this stuff up. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a wizard. I don't know what I'm saying. All the disclaimer shit, right? Okay, for just a second here. I know that Persian, Iranian people. I have lots of friends that are Persians, and they're very proud people. They believe in honor and dignity in ways that Americans don't. And for them, when we talk about, a word being a bond, this is not an Islamic thing. This is not a Middle Eastern thing, but this is just a Persian thing in general. I'm just kind of giving you an overview. And they do want to be able to be proud and say that they fought the best fight and they wanted to, do those things. And that's just their ego. That's a culture thing, right? Now, I know after my 18 years of defense contracting and stuff and seeing things and understanding things, I know there's a lot of things we never get on the ground forward facing to America. I just think that there's a lot of evil players. I think there's a lot of other people that keep screwing with the pot. I think things are set up. I think things are ready. I think things are ready to go. But I think that there is a part of this agreement that has nothing to do with America and Iran that it keeps kind of just poking their finger in it, and I can't find out who it is or what it is, but there's an adjutant in this whole thing, and I think that we're going to find out after the dust settles that we will see that this was actually more of about somebody else in the background. Does that make sense to you guys? I don't want to go too far, and it feels like I'm trying to read the tea leaves, so to speak, but in reality, I don't think it's Trump, and I don't think it's Iranians. Just going to go with that. You guys can math that out however you want. Anyway, other than that, there was some rumors and some things talking about how we propped up the Japanese markets last night, and I'm not really sure if that's come out much in the news today. I know somebody asked Trump some questions on that while he was on Air Force One, but I'm not sure if it all got really explained. But anyway, we'll talk about that more as we go through the week. I do apologize for Friday's episode, or Friday's show, not going live. We did not have internet here at the studio, so I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't do anything about it. But you know what the dumb thing is? I forgot to go ahead and use my Starlink. I had Starlink as a backup so that I would not have that problem, and I totally forgot. I literally remembered it yesterday. I'm like, I have Starlink. I could have used Starlink and not the landline. Anyway, or the land cable there, so the fiber optic. All right, well, I do have a... Oh. Uh-oh. Did I lose you? I just lost my special guest. Where did he go? Matt? Matt? Where did you go? Okay, I guess we'll just keep going on. Don't know what happened there. I was just getting ready to flip over to my guest today and couldn't make it. So I don't know what I did there, but hopefully he'll come back. Matt, are you there, Matt? Oh, there he is. Okay. Or Mark. Why am I under... Is it Matt or Mark? All right. Well, we got some question and answering to do now here. So, all right. I got you back. You there? Mark?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, Mark. Let me get you brought over. Right as I was getting ready to bring you in, you dropped. It was like... Where'd he go? Like, where did he was just here? Like, anyway. So, all right, I got you. Bring you over there. There you are, Mark. Good to see you, partner. And let me get you. Let me get myself sitting right next to you there. There we go. Now we're sitting next to each other. All right, Mark. Well, you're so much. I gotta tune you up. You changed screens on me there.
Let me see if I can. Let me go. How's
Oh,
this?
there, bingo. Oh, we got you all the way. More, give me more headspace on the top of the video, but other than that, you're good.
There we
Uh,
go.
Up there, perfect, man. Look at you, like you were a cameraman from back in the day. Boy, there we are. All right, so tuned up. Boom. How about that? Now we're sitting next to each other.
There we are. I'm in my hotel room. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right, man. Hey, so Mark, I got you down. I was not thinking I was getting Mark Vargas today. Thought I was getting somebody else. Anyway, Mark, good to see you.
Sorry to disappoint.
Well, no, I hadn't had the other person yet, so I was like, okay, well, this is gonna be a new one, like, and so, all right, so Mark, tell people how we can find you, and then we'll act like we know what we're doing here in this interview. So you go ahead, do your part, and then we'll start from there.
We're like the blind leading the blind. Here, you can follow me on X at Mark A. Vargas, on IllinoisReview.com, and on Newsmax. You can follow my column at the Potomac Perspective.
Very good. All right, so Potomac Perspective. Now, Mark, what real quick? What got you into all this? What got you into the politics of things? What was that kind of? Give me your origin story real quick.
September 11th, 2001. I was a college student at Judson University outside of Chicago, a private Christian school. And my mom called my dorm room and said, turn on the television. I did, just in time to see the second plane fly into the World Trade Center. And at that moment, Jim, my life had purpose, meaning, and direction. And I remember turning over to my roommates and to my buddies and said, I'm going to do something about this. And so from that day on, I've been wanting to serve my country in any way, shape, or form. And here I am now today as a guest on your show.
Absolutely. Now think about those tiny steps of moments to get to here. And I want to make this more of in some ways a political. We're going to talk about political, but we're going to talk about the life of this, right? In your life, Mark, you're sitting there in a dorm room. Your mom happens to catch you in the dorm room, and back then a lot of people didn't have cell phones, right? So correct. Mom calls, said, "Hey, get on there," and in that one step moment, now that has been, I mean, we're talking 24 years ago. 24 years of months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, steps to get here. And now we're having this conversation similar to 10 years ago. I ran for office. I thought I was just going to run for office. And now here I am talking to you, right? So, it was a simple little thing like that. So, Mark, we had you coming on today. Do you have a special topic for us, something in mind of the goings on, or did some of my stuff in the intro there pique your interest?
Well, about the SAVE Act. I mean, we're coming up on a very important midterm election cycle.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the Thune? Was that thing supposed to go? Oh no, that was a conferment. Sorry. I'll stop talking. Thune was going to let the confirmation go through from one of the Trump's nominees. I got that confused with the SAVE Act. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, think about this, and it's the center of attention. John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader. This is a guy who's not MAGA. He doesn't love America like these fellow patriots, and he's stalled.
Okay, let me do that real quick. Stop earlier. You said he's not MAGA. How did we get him then? I mean, I didn't like this guy when he first started being propped up as the guy. Well, how did he get to be the guy? Did you see what I'm saying? Can we stop there? That one, how did he get to be the guy? Before we talk about
this is when Mitch McConnell resigned as majority leader and said he would be retiring. Mm-hmm. And, his heir apparent was John Thune. And John Thune, has dragged his feet on the Save America Act. He's allowed, rhinos to control this process. And as a result, we're not going to have a safe and secure election coming up in November. And secondly, you've had issues with Todd Blanche's Senate confirmation coming out of committee as the Attorney General.
That's the one. That was what it was. Todd Blanche's thing. That just came. They had a deal done,
and that's the result of what I call the Rhino Revenge Tour. You've got Tillis, and you've got Cornyn out of Texas.
Right.
Two guys who are not supporters of MAGA. They're pissed off at President Trump. They're going to do anything they can to stall his agenda. And, they're holding Todd Blanche's uh, vote out of committee, holding it hostage.
Right.
And, again, it's proof that John Thune can't control his own Republican caucus there in the Senate. But more importantly, again, we've got a key opportunity to win the midterm election cycle.
Yeah.
Because if we don't win, you know what's going to happen? The Democrats are already counting down to impeachment, right? They don't want to legislate. They don't want to make our lives better.
Are we going to rewind the very first, the first term? Are we going to redo that all over again, redjudicate 4 years again? And then we're going to have in the fourth year, we'll have another pandemic rolling into another $7 or $8 trillion worth of debt that we get, the first year. See, that's another thing too. Everybody forgets about that $7.8 trillion that was spent that first year Uncle Joe was in. That has actually literally screwed us in a lot of ways. This whole Thune thing, sounds like I got a lisp, but this whole Thune thing, I've never liked him, and not because of him personally, but I saw him as a dragging ass kind of guy. He drags ass. He likes to collect as much as he can. He doesn't have an agenda like he's working against something. He just wants to make sure he gets as much collateral out of as possible. Does that make sense? Is that what am I reading that right?
Well, he's also a country club establishment Republican who wants to protect the system rather than make the lives better of everyday, average, hardworking American citizens. And so he's become a part of that system. He had a historic election. If you remember, John Thune, way back when, his race, he defeated the incumbent Senate Majority Leader, Tom Daschle.
Oh,
that was Thune's historic election. He took out Tom Daschle, and he went to Washington pledging to work for everyday Americans and not forget about Main Street. And it didn't take very long for him to get sucked into the swamp. And now he's a creature of the swamp, and we can't get anything done through the Senate. Again, we've got the Save America Act that stalled. We've got Todd Blanche's vote out of the committee. We've got that stalled.
Right.
And so, these aren't the type of optics that we want going into a midterm election cycle. But President Trump has been tough on Thune. He's been demanding action from the U.S. Senate. He floated the idea, which I think is brilliant. Let's just pause Blanche's nomination until the Rhino Revenge Tour, until they leave Congress.
Yeah.
And then when we have the new session, the new Republican senators, then he'll put his nomination back and it'll pass without any issues. But, this is Thune, again, not having any control whatsoever over his own caucus. We've got the majority. We've got the majority in the House and in the Senate. The House has already passed the Save America Act. We've been waiting for the Senate to act. And as a result, we're going to have unsecure elections. I mean, what's so un-American about requiring a valid photo government ID to vote? Somehow the Democrats and the rhinos think that that's un-American to require a vote. When, if you think about Mandami, you can't shovel sidewalks in the wintertime without showing proof of a government ID. But go ahead and vote. You don't need to show anything.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, I mean, what is a vote, right? I mean, it's nothing. Doesn't mean anything. But here's the sad thing. Because here's what's happening. Because their desire to cheat is so great, they don't understand that they're willing to destroy our country in the process. And I said this. I started my show back very beginning of this. I said the Democrats would rather rule over a pile of ashes than ever let you win. And if you can see anything of this Democrat Socialist of America bullshit, excuse my language, but radio, sorry, you'll have to bleep it out. But this is, I don't understand how we've gotten here. I don't know. I just, are we really, did we have this many people get the shot, that the cognitive dissonance, which is one of the major factors of the shot, by the way? Are we literally just living in cognitive dissonance after hangover from the shot? Is that what a lot of this is? Because they were the ones that the left was the ones that really pushed the shot the hardest, right?
Well, that's right. Think about this, Jim, for a moment. You're talking about socialism, how it's hijacked the Democratic Party. It's no longer the party of Bill Clinton or even John F. Kennedy.
Jeez,
it's the party of AOC and Ilhan Omar and Bernie Sanders. But think about this for 1 second. A comparison. As we sit right now, the Democratic National Committee in Washington, D.C. has only raised $16 million, and they're $18 million in debt. In fact, it's so bad that they put up the DNC national headquarters up as collateral in order to secure a $15 million loan in order to cover operational costs. Simultaneously, the Republican National Committee has raised nearly $130 million in the same time frame with zero debt. So going into an important midterm election cycle, the Democrats have an identity problem. They also have a fundraising problem. And that's a direct result of the Democrats not wanting to legislate. They want to investigate. They want to impeach Donald Trump again. It's not about helping the American people. And more importantly, this goes back to the socialist Marxists taking over the Democratic Party, and the traditional major mega donors of the Democratic Party no longer recognize their party. And as a result, they're not donating. And so the Democrats, and as a whole, are in real trouble going into November.
Okay, now the Democrats are what, 50 million? Is that right, or did you correct that? What is the? They're in debt, right? They're not actually in a positive cash flow, right? Right? Is that what I'm saying?
$18 million in debt, and they've only raised roughly $16 million. So it cancels it out given the debt, which is why they had to pull out a bank loan and use their headquarters as collateral to secure an additional $15 million. At the same time, the Republicans are sitting at almost $130 million, the exact same time frame, zero debt. This is what happens when you put Democrats in control. Think about Obama's presidential center, right? It was 5 years.
AID was turned off.
USAID was turned off. But think about Obama's center for a second. It's 5 years late and $500 million over budget.
Hold on. First of all, sir, $500 million. Do you understand, like, the new Chief Stadium, which is going to have, like, it's going to be like 150 acres, and it's like 40 stories tall, is only $3 billion?
This is a nearly $1 billion monument to Barack Obama, but half a billion dollars over budget. And as a result,
sorry, I don't mean to. It just kills me. Sorry, go ahead.
And Barack, this is a really fascinating story for you to cover, Jim, because mainstream media doesn't want to cover it, and this is why shows like yours are so important, because we can actually discuss these things. Yes, but Barack Obama made history by becoming the first Black president. He's also making his history as becoming the first Black president to push out low-income Black families from their homes surrounding his nearly $1 billion monument to himself.
Gentrification much, sir?
He's driven several of these small business contractors who he pledged and promised to upheld. They've driven them into debt. Several of them are seeking assistance from the National Contractors Association to try and get their money back because it's being withheld. You've got several small businesses, Black-owned small businesses, that are about to go under. They're upside down because they haven't been paid by the building, the Obama Center, the contractors. It's a total disaster. Right. And yet, this is the guy that ran our country for 8 years.
Well, and let me give you this, guys. I'm not mad at the beige president. Okay, we had a beige president. He got in there, put a basketball court in, had coffee with a plumber, or a beer with a plumber, or Bob the plumber, I don't know, whatever, something. If you guys go back and look at your annals of history in America, there is, in his reign, in his regime, in his time, you have to be honest with yourself and see the significant change in debt, religion, culture, interracial fighting, the police stuff, the BLMs, all the things that rose up under his authority, and I do believe we're still paying for that hangover today. Do you see that causation, correlation, that rainbow effect of what he's done through his time to where we're still trying to clean up that mess since then?
There's no question about it. You know what we're also trying to clean up? The weaponization. Using government agencies to target your political enemies, to target Christians and Catholics, all across the board. And so there's a lot of things that President Trump is having to clean up from the Obama administration, and more importantly, Obama's third term in the form of Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, they came after me. I mean, it was under Joey's regime that the federal cases were never picked up against the judges that came after me. or the police or the DA or the chief or any of that. So yeah, it was weaponized with me as well. Well, it was weaponized in the other way where they didn't prosecute or go after the people who actually damaged me. So do you see it goes both ways. It's sometimes they over and sometimes they under, right? So it's still an abuse either way. So he gentrified a whole neighborhood down in South Chicago. I heard that it's actually it's required to have a photo ID to get in, or at least to get a discount. Is that correct? Am I off?
Photo ID. You need your photo ID in order to go into the Obama Center, but you don't need them to vote.
Or get in the country. So.
Or get in the country, but you need them. You need them to go to the Obama Presidential Center, and you need them to shovel snow in New York City. But you don't need them anywhere else.
Hey, can I ask a question here? How is it that the Democrat Party or the Socialist Party of America now, whatever we're calling these people, why do they always attach to labor, but they're the first people who don't work?
I mean, high unemployment amongst the Democrat populace. No question about it. I mean, think about what
they're called labor. They're like, oh, we're for labor. I'm like,
right.
But you don't labor.
Bernie Sanders, right? You don't work. Government pays for everything, right? Everything's for free. You've got these, they want free grocery stores. They want to collect their government checks, and they don't want to work. And that's why, when they get it's great to get into elected office, but when it actually comes time to who's going to pay for it, that's when they run into some real serious problems.
Well, okay, listen. Mark, I want you to have a healthy, robust body, a financial situation that always keeps the electric paid, and you just don't have to think about those simple basic needs. And I want that for you, Mark. I really do. And I'm going to go out and vote so the rest of the country figures out how to pay for your crap. Is that what socialism is? But wait, if I'm making everybody else pay for it, I'm paying for it as well. Are they forgetting about that part?
Well, Milton Friedman said it best. You put the government in charge of the Sahara Desert, and within 5 years, there'll be a shortage of sand.
Yeah, I just hate that. It's so true.
This is what happens when the socialists run everything, right? And it helps the Republican cause. It helps certainly President Trump's messaging when you've got, these far left, progressive left lunatics who have hijacked the Democratic Party. It's only good for Republicans. And we're seeing that in the fundraising numbers. If you compare the DNC and the RNC, that's just a simple litmus test. Yeah. How much have you raised? How much are you in debt?
Now, and yeah, that's an easy one. But the one thing we all want to remember Gap Tooth governor candidate down in Georgia got $2 billion to buy refrigerators and wash machines and dryers for better energy usage. And USAID got turned off. Now, all of a sudden, the Democrats don't have any money, and they're in debt, and they're using their own collateral as their own buildings as collateral to get money. See, this is one thing I have always felt in my heart, and I don't know why I had this, and I've said it to other people. I'm like, how do these people have money? Because Democrats I know don't have money. They don't have cars. They don't have estates. They don't have 401ks. They have nose stuff and hair stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I always wondered, how did they come up with hundreds of millions of dollars or $1 billion to run Kamala Harris's program? Like, I never understood that, but now that the USAID faucet's been a little bit turned off and Act Blue is finally being exposed, I exposed Act Blue back in 2016. I exposed during my campaign who Act Blue was in 2016, and nobody listened to me back then. And here's why this, Mark, I want you to look into this. You're the news guy, right? Look into Act Blue and where all public union dues go, and then how do they get redistributed? Act Blue holds all the money. Act Blue holds all the union dues. Act Blue holds all the federal union workers' dues. So if you want to know who the enemy was, it's always been Act Blue all along. They were really the silent hidden hand that had so much money to play with, but now they don't have that. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, Letitia James, so many Democratic donors who donated Letitia James when they went and knocked on their doors or gave them a call. They
Yep.
had no recollection of ever donating any money to Letitia James's campaign for state attorney general there in New York. Yet there they go. They show up on the Act Blue as making these donations. Yeah, I mean, that's just scratching the surface. But Jim, we're losing power here in South Florida because of the massive storm.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't want to get cut off. I don't want to cut off here, but
Yes, sir.
I think I'm gonna have to run.
Yes, sir. No worries. We'll talk soon, and if we'll get you back on whenever you want. Get a hold of me, man. We'll talk. All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Take
All
care.
right.
God
We'll
bless.
see you. Bye. All right. Well, what a great interview that was with him, and I apologize for the spottiness on the Zoom call. It wasn't really so much on my end; it was on his end, and he didn't have the ability to correct a lot of that. So don't worry about it. Anyway, did a great job there. Why am I? Oh, I know what I'm doing now. Let me get over here. Drop down one there. Gee, Merry Christmas. Like my first day on the job. Well, it is a Monday, right, folks? All right. Well, switching gears. Again, guys, listen. And one of the other things, too, was our signal. What I found out was he was getting my questions and answers and all that. That was super delayed, by the way. So I was having to work backwards on some of the stuff that he was talking about and doing. So anyway. Good stuff there. Now, continuing on, now I do appreciate what he was talking about. This whole thing with Uncle Joe and Uncle Barry and Heels Up Harris, I will tell you, the corruption guys, when I tell you that when we talk about how, like, I felt like there was how did these guys keep having money? Now I get, listen, this is, I get mom and pops, you guys donating $100, $1,000 to your president, to your state senator, whatever. I get that. But there was just a lot of money. And when I was going through the files back in, this was 2016, and I was going through and I was sitting there and I was looking through all these donations and I'm like, how are these people getting like so much money? And it's not like, and see, I've built this show up, and it's gone down, it's built up, it's gone down, and I understand the ebbs and flows of things. But as a candidate, I'm looking around and saying, hey, guys, if you want to donate to the Senate race for Jim Price, that'd be great. Jim Price for Kansas, if you could go ahead and donate over there, that'd be awesome. Blah blah blah, this and that. I would see these other people's campaign, and there's 1,000 people donating $100. I'm like, how in the hell did you get 100 people or 1,000 people to donate $100? I mean, it was just magic to me. And so when I started looking into it, I found out that it was Act Blue, that these people were, quote unquote, it was through Act Blue that was the conduit for it. Well, now, if we go and we look at the whole idea of what has been going on with some of these investigative reporters, including like Nick Shirley and others like that, they're showing that they go up to these people who are living like in a trailer, a single axle pull behind trailer on a dirt lot, and saying, ma'am, did you donate $150,000 to Harris for president? And she'd be like, no, I didn't do any of that. I think I gave maybe $100 over the years and blah, 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 right? But no, $150,000. Now, guys, and listen, if we're talking about cheating, right? We're talking about cheating, then I want to include the fact that this is what they were willing to show you. This is what they were willing to publish, that they felt like they had to publish or it would be too big of a crime. Do you follow what I'm saying here? These people, I understand Fauci and his little book thing where he had his book on 11 different government servers. Okay. So if we had not have had Nick Shirley's and the others and the other one's doing all the work, like that we're going in and doing like the interviews and checking the addresses and checking the totals and going and seeing if there's a Leering Center in Minneapolis. And let me confess to you for just a second here. I want to do a confession. Jim Price, was at a farmer's market or a community market thing. I went by one on Saturday. It's over here in Andover. And there was a tent there that had some people there, and I avoided the tent. And I just did that because I will tell you, I really felt like a wash of that whole Somali thing really got to me. And I don't want, and the thing is I don't, they may have been the sweetest people on earth. But the sad part of it is I'm getting judged for being a male. I'm getting judged for being white. I'm getting judged for all the little things because I believe that, birth starts or, the age or the spark of life starts at the zinc aurora at conception. Makes me a bad person. I believe that there is a God that believes in you and understands you and lives in your heart. I understand that, and I believe that. Doesn't mean I'm not, it doesn't make me a bad person. But see, there are other religions, other people. There are Jews in this country that will tell you that I'm a bad person because I am a Christian. But see, I don't understand how I can be the bad person, the wrong person, but yet still be this person sits right here in front of you and can't be. How can I be wrong all at the same time? Hey, Courtney Marie, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I wanna think about where does this go? When I was thinking about this okay, I got a destination here, but I got a lot of different topics and a lot of things I want to talk about, and I'm trying to kind of cram them all together in this whole thing. And part of it has to do with the voting, and part of it has to do with the trans, and part of it has to do with, the Leering Center and my experience in the thing down here, this little farmer's market or whatever. I just didn't go to their table because I knew that they were from another country. But there's the WNBA thing going on, and here's the problem. Here's the elephant in the room with a lot of this. First of all, if you do not understand, if you cannot see this, and women can't see this, as they look at the situation, and everything that seems to be thrown into their court, they're willing to accept wildly. Oh, we want men to be women. You do? But men being men offend you? But a man tucking his wiener back doesn't offend you. But my problem is the WNBA is now coming after Sophie Cunningham and going after the Caitlin Clarks and these other things, which, again, I think press is good press. It doesn't matter. Any press is good press. It doesn't matter bad or good. They're just paying attention. So your viewership is up, the checks, the clicks, the blah, blah, blahs is all up, right? I think that there are men playing in the WNBA. And I don't think, I really want to say, hey, girls, you guys are such proud, hear my vagina roar, pull them down. Pull them down, spread your cheeks. I know that sounds completely gross and horrible, but my problem is I don't believe you guys are all girls, and you wouldn't be defending trying to get men into the WNBA if there wasn't already men there. Right, girls? And this whole trans kids or people too, the idea that I'm having to talk about this stupid shit on my show tells me that the saturation of this conversation is at such a level I have to talk about it. And I don't want to talk about it. But here's the point. They say they're not being recognized. They say they're on the margins. They say that they're not being heard. They say that nobody sees them, that they're not being represented. Then why the hell am I talking about it? And why are you defending it so heavily in women's sports? Why do you want men in women's sports? That is the craziest women. Figure this out for me. All migrants are legal. All dudes in bathrooms, girls' bathrooms are legal. All boys and girls' locker rooms are legal. Men taking a fist to a woman in a boxing ring, legal. This is where we're okay, right, girls? Because, see, the problem is I don't think this is a left thing. I see it as a woman thing. Because if women stood up like they did after they started standing up to the vaccines, when I really saw the wave move was when the women, the mama bears, got involved. You will not jab my children. You will not stick them. You will not. And then all of a sudden, things started calming down. Things started pushing back. All of a sudden, the mask started going away. And if you women, and don't give me, I stand up every time, all the time, I'm always doing are you being a feminist when you stand up, or are you being feminine when you stand up? Are you an ist or an in? Ask yourself that. If you are the one trying to do are you being feminine? See, the sad part of it is women are the flowers of the earth, and everything will come to them if they are soft and still and peaceful and make a peace among the men. Men will draw to them by the droves, just like a bee will go to a flower and will tell other bees how great that flower is. If women act in their femininity, they wouldn't have to lift a finger, ever. But they don't listen to me. What do I know? Marsha Anderson's here. What? What's up, girl? So, and we're going to have Mark Grennan on tomorrow. Mark, I always get that wrong on your last name. I don't know why. We got we got a busy first half of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday interviews this week, so be looking forward to those. Anyway, I just wonder, girls, if you guys just decide, just start publicly shaming women that are not feminine. Oh, you're one of those. Oh, you're a feminist. Sorry, you. You know, the same way you girls do. See, you girls could change. Guys, listen. You girls have this social compact you guys do with each other. Why don't you guys just get together, push all the feminists to the point where they just stop doing that, push all the blue hairs so they stop doing that, and get all this stuff cleaned up so that we can go back to having a cool society again where women were feminine and amazing to look at, enjoy to look at, not the bags of garbage walking around with tennis shoes on. I mean, I don't know, girls. I mean, aren't you guys supposed to be the things we desire? Like I said, I mean, a lot of these women are not doing their thing. And I'm talking about the girls in the 20s. I'm not talking about a woman who's had a couple kids and, she's lived a little, here and there. Had a beer once in a while. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about girls that are they're supposed to be 20 to 30 in their prime, but these girls are 200 pounds or more. That's not feminine. That's just lack of respect. I mean, we got to do better, girls. Can we do that? Guys, we're doing our part, but we're pulling back from the women because we're just not. I mean, can we just say, hey, girls, you feminists, listen to the feminine, and feminine girls, just be so feminine that it just pushes all that crap out of your group. I don't know. It's crazy that a woman will say that she's a lesbian because I ain't dealing with men, but the first thing she'll do is go find a feminine woman. Not a feminist, but a feminine. I don't know, guys. You guys do the math, but I just say, hey, look, can we do this? Can we turn all this around? Can we be honest about the WNBA that there's some dudes tucking their wieners back? Just like the guy who went all the way to Russia and came back, but they have video of him with no shirt on at the pool. That girl that went to Russia and got caught with weed or something in Russia, and then we did exchange or asked him to have him released, and then that dude came back, but then was swimming and didn't have a shirt on. But then when you see them running up and down the basketball court, they don't have a sports bra on. I don't know, man. I didn't used to have to wonder. I used to be able to say, that's a dude or that's a chick. Now, because they're trying to be a little bit sly about it, you're like, I don't know. But why is it my problem? Why do I have to change what I'm doing? Can't they just go be weird in the bedroom and then clean up their shit before they leave the house? I don't know. Transgender TV star arrested on child molestation and sodomy charges. Author J.K. Rowling drops the mask on trans agenda. J.K. Rowling has been a target of extreme hate and frequent death threats from trans activists. And by the way, trans activists, you are like there are so few trans. To be trans is like be a lottery winner. Seriously, guys, it's not as popular as you might think it is. But by the way, it's a lot of dudes just putting dresses on. Are we just mentally breaking down men so much now that they're just willing to just act weird just to try to get a woman's attention? Is that what we're doing? Or the fact that men need to put dresses on so then maybe a man will look at them because the women aren't giving them the attention, so maybe now a man will? What are we doing to the human being? What have we done? How hard do you have to abuse a mammal to get them to stop breeding? How much abuse do you have to do to a dog to where it will not reproduce with another dog of the opposite sex? How much abuse do you have to put a cat through to get it to not reproduce? But yet, this agenda shit that they've been putting us through, all the things we've been going around here with, this whole thing, think about how many kids. We are at the least replaced in our history ever right now. We're not replacing ourselves. There's actually a genuine concern as I age, as I get older, going into my 80s, 90s, my 100, 110, 120s, will there be enough people to even take care of me? That is a genuine concern right now. Oh, we're talking about building all these robots, not because people need robots, because there's no people. We're replacing real people with robots because we don't even have enough people at all to take care of ourselves, much less expand on this earth. The population, you don't understand how waves work. You right now may say, Jim, we're doing this. We're dying at twice the rate we were 5 years ago. We are dying twice as fast. We are dying twice as fast as we were 5 years ago. And the problem is that has to do with food. It has to do with what's been the chemicals and the pharmaceuticals in our water. It has to do with the spiritual attacks, guys, and it has to do with these vaccines that they have been passing out. There was 8 billion vaccines handed out. Somebody got one in the arm. I know that Perry, a good friend of mine, he was first day getting it. And as soon as he had to get his booster, he was first day getting it. He got his right on time. And it killed him. He had cancer that he had beat 20 or 30 years prior to that. All of a sudden, turbo cancer, he's gone. In fact, it happened so fast. I was down at the Durrell event in Clay Clark, and I was on my way back, and he had passed. And it was like, I was like, shit, I hadn't even got a chance to go see him yet. Like I had, I was like, oh, I'll see him, in a week. He's probably going to get out, whatever. Like, it went so fast with him, and the sad part of it is he got all the vaccines, man. They just dosed him up every time we turn around. He was a pediatric surgeon, meaning that he only worked on the babies. So he was the guy that would go in to do, things in the heart and the chest and the guts and all kinds of stuff. He turned a kid's foot around. I mean, he was just that guy. He was as big round as he was tall. He could have lost some weight, but he was a great guy, jovial guy. But the sad part of it is that, he was forced into it because of the profession he was in. He was required. He didn't even get a chance. And by the way, they made sure to keep track of exactly when he got him. He had to do all kinds of mental quizzes and stuff before and after the surgeries. He was always constantly and he was a very sharp guy. Here's what he did. Give me this. He actually flew F4s, in Korea, and then told me about a time he stole a Jeep and then had the motor pool bury it because it was a general's Jeep from the was he Marine or Navy? I think he was a Navy guy, and he stole a Marine general's Jeep, and so he had the motor pool bury it, and this was over in like some sandy island where it was really easy. They just dug a hole and pushed it in there and then pushed sand back over top. It was pretty easy. Anyway, he told me all about it, but he also had his jumpsuit with his actual service. He had his 1911. Was that right? Was it 1911? Am I saying that right? I think I'm speaking out of turn on that gun. But anyway, the gun he had for when he was in flight, he had the scarf that had different languages on it so that if he were shot down in different countries, he had all these different things. Great stories. Anyway, after the war, he went back and became a doctor, and had no real intentions of doing that. I think what was he before that? It was something else. But anyway, and just a neat guy. But that vaccine killed that guy. But this is what we've done with each other. So the idea that this has gotten this far and where we're at, we really got to reevaluate our country and what we're thinking. Okay, she took a public stand supporting research Maya Forstater after Forstater was let go from her job for making comments labeled as transphobic. Social justice warriors branded Rawlings a TERF, which stands as a trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Feminist? Now she's a feminist because... Now wait, I thought the feminists were the ones that like the trans. So you're saying the trans and the feminists hate each other? So the trans dudes that just put a dress on are battling it out with the feminists who hate men? I gotta get that, right? I don't know. I'm just making this shit up. Oh, my God. All right. She triggered the SJWs again for daring to misgender the person behind a tweet account allegedly tied to Luis Morales, also known as Cynthia China Blast. Can you guys, okay, listen, girls, can you, I mean, if this doesn't tell you that's a dude, okay, Cynthia China Blast, this is what men think. This is how we think. This is not a chick's name. Why do we give breath and air to this? Okay, J.K. Rowling's got everybody mad at her because she misgendered a dude convicted of murdering a 13-year-old. Okay, cool. You know what? You guys have got moral high ground on all this. I have nothing to say. As this heterosexual white male over here, I'm just trying to say, hey, cool, that Are you guys cool with this? Like, what are we talking about? They're mad because J.K. Rowling's a chick who's actually a billionaire by her own right, isn't she? If I remember right. Doesn't she make like $1 billion now? Or is a billionaire because of whatever it is? They're big mad at her because what? On Saturday, Rawlings pointed out the absurdity of what the trans community is expecting women and girls to confront in what should be safe spaces. She shared a disturbing video of a musician social media creator known as Give Us a Chip lecturing society on what must be accepted. Well, this looks like a dude with a bunch of shit in his face and a tattoo on his eye. He is a biological adult male who identifies as a trans woman who has extensively discussed his transition, including hormone treatment, facial electrolysis laser, and vaginoplasty bottom surgery. Oh, this just hurts my brain. In the specific clip, Rowling shared from one of his Instagram reels, he angrily responds to criticism that he looks bald, male pattern, hairline, tattoo, piercing, and overall appearances means he should not speak for the trans community. Well, I did leave out the part where he literally he's just the top part bald. He's got a green right there. He's got a putting green up top. They're just, so I didn't even say that part. JK did. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't go to the part. I didn't say the part where you're like, you got some real male pattern baldness going on. If you don't think he's a woman, you're transphobic. If you don't think he's a woman, you're transphobic. When he claimed to be a woman, he became a woman. He now belongs in women's changing rooms, bathrooms, hospital wards, prison cells, and rape support centers. If you try and differentiate him and a trans woman who looks more convincing as a woman, you are promoting patriarchal beauty norms. This is where the minutia. Okay, I had this thought today. Why do I know about a graper? Why do I know about tops and bottoms? Why do I know about trans this? Why do I know about bottom surgery? Why do I know all this? Why is it some other person's so extreme sexuality, whatever weirdo shit you want to do in your room, I don't care. I applaud you. Do it. I say go for it. Whatever you think is the funnest, weirdest, exciting, nail it, just do it. Write it down, put it on a calendar like everybody else does because they all write everything down. But go enjoy yourself. I say what you do in your bedroom, knock it out of the park. Put a hook in the ceiling, whatever, plastic on the floor. I don't care. Enjoy yourself. God dang, please enjoy yourself. But don't put it on the street. I don't give two shits. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Do you see where I went with that? I don't care. Go do you, boo. Or whatever you do. Maybe it's the Winnie the Pooh thing you do. I don't know. See, this is the part where I feel like I have to convince people to just not give a shit about so much of this. Why is it I have to hey, listen. I know you care a lot, but don't. And the more that we focus on, and we have to talk about it because it's part of the news of things. See, and she was talking about the hypocrisy of if you say this man is a beautiful trans woman just because he says he is, or you don't. If you don't say this is a trans woman, but you say one that looks convincingly exactly like a woman, then which one is the wrong? Who has been wronged? If I say he is with the man balding thing, does that offend the one that actually really put the work in? Or is the fact that I don't and I only represent the one that put the work in, meaning that I only like the beautiful ones? I don't know, guys. This is can we just stop this shit? Can we just stop it? The circles, and I really do believe you have to just reject certain things. And I try to, because I call others out on certain rejections of reality, I try to make sure that I am not as well, that I'm putting in the time. That's it. I just think that sometimes these people look around and go, "Oh, that's a beautiful woman," and I'm like, you can't say that, dude, or ma'am. You just can't. Is anybody else tired of it yet? I am. I'm tired of it. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, it's been a good show. Appreciate getting the guy on earlier. Wish we could have talked a little longer. I always enjoy his talks. But again, we try to talk about things like what he understands. That he's up in the Chicago area. You know, the big trash can called the Obama Center or whatever that's supposed to be. I mean, it looks like a bad trash can in an alleyway. I don't understand it. I don't understand what people think is beauty anymore. I mean, there are specific buildings down in the D.C. area or even Nashville or other parts of this country. Even the Iowa State Capitol building is a beautiful building. But some of the shit that we're putting up today, these brown boxes called Lowe's and Home Depot and Starbucks and Lowe's and Home Depot and Starbucks and Lowe's and Home Depot and Starbucks. And then even the McDonald's looks like the Taco Bell, looks like the Piggly Wiggly, looks like everything looks the same. Tell me it's different. What's so different? I mean, yeah, I will tell you, Quick Trips are completely different than any super smart start jump or whatever it is. I tell you, those places are horrible to go into. But you go to a Quick Trip, and most of the time, the bathrooms are pretty great. Anyway. Oh, God, guys, we're going to do better, right? I'm going to get out of here. Remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, community, city, county, state, the federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far better place. Remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We'll win. A promise I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution limits government, but never limits you. Please, please understand the Constitution is yours to wield any way you want. And like any instrument, the more you use it, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the more powerful you are. And the more powerful you are, the more you can share with others and help others to do the same. So get better. Get your Bill of Rights for your state. Print it out. Put it on your mirror. Read it while you brush your teeth. Switch to your left hand tomorrow. See how much programming you live under. All right, guys, that's going to be about it for me. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys will be good to each other out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.